What up, what up, what up, guys? We are on the third day of this little bot challenge that I started. And the cool thing is that there's a lot of other people that look to have been getting active with these bots and creating some volume and activity. Cool thing is there's a possibility of making money while we sleep. And if you ask the wealthy, especially guys like Warren Buffett, that was the key to success in finance and in the markets was, earning money while you sleep, and getting as passive as possible. So what we did is back on, I think I started making these videos on Sunday. So we're coming up on our first full week. I think it was no, that couldn't have been Thursday. Tuesday? One of the days I got some funds cleared, and we started trading on a small account just to show how quickly you could build up from a smaller account. You don't need to bring in thousands. You don't need to bring in 10,000 or anything crazy. You can start with as little as like 40 or 50 bucks realistically. I think that's about the smallest that I saw you could start with. Start a decent bot trade was like 40 bucks. It won't be very much, but it's at least something. So I think if you could bring in at least $100 to kind of start, and that's kind of where I came up with this idea, and I chose the $100 kind of timetable, whether you do $100 a week, a month, a year, however much you can afford, whenever you can afford it. Any time to invest is the right time. There's a famous quote, that I really like and I live by, and it questions you and it asks, when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, the answer is 20 years ago, to be able to have mature roots and a mature tree with full growth and a healthy tree. So when's the second best time to plant a tree? And that answer is today. There's plenty of opportunities that we could say we missed in the past and we could have taken advantage of to build wealth today. But if we don't start, we'll never be able to get to the next leg up. So this is kind of something that I would consider a great way to start taking the wealth building into your own hands. If you're not wanting to try to follow the chart patterns and be active, and maybe you don't have time, whether you're busy life, everybody's got a busy life and stuff going on, or you're just not familiar with the stuff and how it works and everything. A great tool that pionex offers is these automatic trading bots, and for small liquidity projects like TXC with lower volume, it's not consistent because there's not a lot of people who are familiar with the buying. You're not going to see huge wealth overnight, so don't be discouraged if you're not making fortunes overnight. But as this project grows and builds, you'll see these bots become more and more profitable. So while we're in this kind of consolidation period, we're at the tail end of this downtrend. We're kind of in an inflection point. The mining shares are growing exponentially, and this is just really a great opportunity as more exchanges have been added. This is like the first true round of U.S. Based exchanges that are very USA friendly, so you don't have to have a VPN or you don't have to be out of country to be able to trade. For a U.S. crypto, these exchanges are going to be kind of big and indicative. When you go and you sign up a new miner, you want to tell them about the project, and you want to tell them about the capabilities of what the mining side brings, and that's great. But one of the tools that you need to be able to show them is how, with those coins that they're going to mine, how are they able to turn those into cash if they ever need to? And one of those things that they're going to need is an exchange. So why not get some activity in an exchange that can keep the activity growing and keep building the project for us along with it? If somebody's investing $1,000 or $5,000 or $9,000 into this project, what's another $100 or another $50 or something? you as the person bringing them the attention of the mining part of it, got to kind of be able to show them the exchange side of it. This is where once you build up your nest egg of all these mining tokens, if you ever need to or you want to get some profit and realize some gains and stuff, you have to take those coins off the cold storage wallet, put them on the exchange, and be able to sell them. If you want to try to sell a bunch of them, you want to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of in a market order, and you want to make sure that you have some decent coin building and have some sustainability in this market to where you trying to sell or you trying to buy more coins doesn't drastically move the market. And especially if you're trying to mine this token and you're looking at the growth and possibilities 5 years down the road, if you see the potential in that project, there's going to be a much bigger market, and you want to be able to be familiar with it and be comfortable coming into the market, looking at a time duration of these candles, and realize like, hey, I'm down right here. We're in an uptrend. I could sell right now if I really needed it, but if I don't need to wait, what if I waited to sell up here? Or, oh man, holy crap, I've been sitting on this for a little bit. I got some extra cash sitting in the bank. This is a great time to buy. I should look for a bigger profit because I can, instantly make some money, and I don't need this cash, sitting in my bank account right now. Those opportunities are going to be presented, and to be able to recognize them is a great opportunity. So take advantage of a new miner needing to learn everything, and make sure that you're a good sponsor and you're a good coach and mentor in this project to be able to show them all aspects of the project, and not just, hey, send me $1,000 and get on my mining thing and we're gonna mine coins and get rich. Because what happens when this thing is up at $10 or $15 and these guys are like, hey man, how do I get some of that money? I'm trying to buy a house, or I'm trying to buy a boat, or whatever they want to do. Stop. And you got to be able to help them then. So make sure you're familiar now. It's a lot easier to show them in a calmer market than it is to show them in a chaotic market. That's kind of the point of these videos I'm trying to make. I want to make sure that everybody's comfortable and knows enough to not only be a good investor and a good trader, because that builds a solid market and builds a solid project, but also for the fact of like, you need to be a good sponsor. And when you're getting people to sign up as a miner, you got to be able to teach them this side of it too. Otherwise, they're going to look to you in a panic when down the road, and if you don't know, then they don't know either. So, sorry for the little ramble. Just kind of something I was thinking about last couple days on what I've been doing with these videos and what I'm hoping to gain, and kind of this little challenge to myself, so kind of thing to where we want to beat the bots. But even if I don't beat the bots, I don't care. Let the bots win, because then that just shows how successful they could be and what you could do if you just you don't have to be hands-on and go crazy. So needless to say, let's jump into it. So what we did, this is pionex. It's one of the US friendly exchanges that lists TXC. We deposited $300 to start, and you come in here, and this is where you can deposit money. There's bank transfers, debit card transfers. You can transfer from other exchanges if you want to transfer in other cryptos. Say you have a bunch of TXC or a bunch of USDT on an exchange like DexTrade, and you want to bring it over to Pionex. You can just transfer those coins. Don't sell them to then bring them over, because then in the between selling them and transferring them, the fees and stuff involved, you'll lose a little bit of money, and then you're going to be upset that you did that. And depending on the order flow, to sell it, to come back and rebuy it, you might not get the same price point. So if you're just trying to move exchanges, just transfer the token. If TXC is on Pionex or Biconomy or Bitmart or whatever, and you have them on DexTrade and you're looking to get them off, just transfer the token. You don't have to sell it. But anyway, it brings into your wallet. And this is where you can just transfer crypto directly if you don't need to deposit money. And so then you have that. Once you have the money, you kind of come over here and you click on trade. You can do spot trading, which is where you're going to actually manually place the order, which 100 of the $300 is what I'm doing. I'm manually entering my trades, and I'm following these pivot points, these trend lines, and I'm kind of, I'm setting my orders around that. I'm not trading as often right now because we are kind of in a downtrend. It's hard to trade frequently in a downtrend, but we're trying very hard to break out of it right now. As you can see, we kind of crossed over right here. We need this 1 hour candle duration to kind of get above this 375 and start building. But anyway, we'll jump into that in a little bit. So when you're setting up your bot trade, it offers you a 30-day AI strategy and a 30-day with infinity grids that you can just copy. And then there's the grid bot trading. I set up my own personal grid bot, and that's one of the $100 is with a custom one that I set up. But when you come over into these, you can say, hey, I'm bullish about this one now. I'm bearish about this one now. This thing's going to be going sideways. Or you just come into these strategies, and you can kind of see these. So when we come into grid bot, you can copy strategy right here, which is where it shows you your 7-day, your 30-day, and 180-day strategies that you can bring. These are back tested over the last probably 30 days of what kind of gains they've been seeing out of these bots. So you can just start copying, and then it tells you the parameters, and it's like, whoa, dude, you need to have 526 USDT for this one. So, okay, well, let's not do that one. Let's just go into customize. Where did I do the last one? I don't remember how I did the last one. Maybe I did 30-day. Oh yeah. Okay, so in the 30-day, you only need 85 to follow the AI, which is ChatGPT, based on ChatGPT's interpretation of this graph, of the chart. Just a little pet peeve of mine. Based on ChatGPT's interpretation of this chart and looking at it on what you should trade. If you're trying to set up a 30-day bot, you need $85.66, which is why I kind of came up with that $100. When I clicked on this and inserted those parameters, here you see it again. Now they're suggesting 58. When I did it, it was 56 grids. This is the price range that it suggests right now, and setting up the grids. When you set up more grids, you see the profit per grid is in this 0.3 to 0.5. So smaller profit per grid, and each one of those grids is in order. So you're going to see a larger amount of grids capturing smaller percentages. So as the price moves, you're like, holy crap, this thing just jumped up a whole bunch, but I didn't capture as much profit. Just the same as when it moves down, you're not buying in as much. So as the chart will channel, the AI grid that it is suggesting is much more conservative. More grids is more conservative is kind of how I look at it. So if you're going to come in and you want to set up your own, so what I gave $100 to the AI one. I used their 56 grid spread. Originally, it had a $4 as the upper price limit, and I raised it to $6 because that was what I put in for my custom one. And I also did that mostly because of the liquidity goal. We have a goal of end of month to be at a 530. So if things were to ramp up and accelerate, I didn't want this bot to lose this monthly goal by taking profit and being out at $4. So I raised the limit to $6, just so that it was trading within the zone. Lower limit on the AI one that I selected was 285. My personal one I chose 275, and if you've been following the charts and stuff that I posted, 275 was a long-term trend line that I established, and that's why I entered 275 as the bottom, because if it broke 275, that's where I would have been concerned, and I would have wanted it I would have reassessed entering this trade. So anyway, to kind of dial it all back in, if you're going to go set up a bot, I would do it this way yourself. Bring in ideally at least $100, but realistically you only need to have like 40. You set a lower limit. I suggest 275 just because that's our uptrend trend line. And realistically you set the upper to 100. You could let this bot just go forever. The only reason I did 6 was because if it broke above 6, I would again want to reassess and kind of try to figure out what is this new trend line establishing, because we're out of a predictable price trend. So 275 to 6, 3 to 6, 250 to 5, however you want to do it. This is just what price range do you want the bot to be active in. And then you come over here into the grids. You have to set at least 2. The less grids you have, the bigger the gap will be in the prices. And it's going to look to get, whether it's 6 or 9 or 12 or 15 or 20% on the smaller grids. Let's just say 3 and 6. So setting 2 grids, it's looking for each grid to be big trades. So, and then as you add these, your number comes in. So you can kind of mess with this and see, each grid is looking to get around between 5 and 10% on it. Between 3 and 6 with a 10 grid order, you're looking to get around 5 to 10% on the moves. And you can set this up. And, at 30, you're looking at 1.5 to 3%. That's probably not a bad number. And you need to have a minimum of 48. You could do 50 grids and you need 78. If you do 10 grids, you only need $18. So you could do a $20 investment, $3 to $6, 10 grids, and it's going to look to make profit for you. And these bots are active the whole entire time. And in the crypto world, that's 1 hour shutdown for maintenance is all they are, and then they're active the rest of the time. 3, 6, 15, 3.5 to 7%, 25.5. So do a $30 investment between 3 and 6, 15 grids, and just kind of let it go. And you can kind of see, this one is something, it can make a lot of trades, or it can make a little bit of trades. You might make a ton of money, you might make, not as much. But I definitely suggest people looking into it. And sorry for the ones who've already kind of been in this and are trying to really focus on my progress in this channel. But because of this series and because of the recent talk and excitement around these bots that are offered through pionex, I had a lot of questions in my DMs. So I figured I needed to, kind of step in and make a longer video on this one and kind of readdress or recirculate back to the beginning of how to set it up and what we're doing and what are the benefits of doing this. And the whole goal is to get this number higher, get this volume up, and create more frequent trading and circulating volume, because that's how we are going to induce, or I guess appeal to, the outside investors who are not miners, because there's going to be some people who might look at this project and have $10,000 sitting that they would love to jump into the market and buy the coin, and they don't have to mine if they don't want to. Maybe they just see the investment in the project and they feel like the opportunity was missed in mining, and they want to figure out how to get more coins. Or maybe they're doing both. Somebody's coming in, they're really excited, they want to drop, get a 3-pack or a 9-pack or 5-pack, or they're buying a bunch of mining and they're like, hey man, this is a great project, I really want to get into this, I need more coins than a half a coin a day. Well, go into the exchange and show them this, and hey, this is a great way to start accumulating. You can buy coins directly on the market and build up your stash, and you can set up a bot to trade, and it'll accumulate for you and build up your stash. So sorry for the long-winded little breakdown on this and kind of what the goal is and what I'm hoping this kind of brings and stimulates through the excitement, and hopefully more people interested in it. because this will be very good for TXC in growing to a a very viable and capable market as well as a mining project. But kind of breaking in, this is the third day of activity. Later in today, I normally do these in the morning, but I did another video and had some other work going on today. So this first bot that I set up was the AI bot. This is the one that they set up as a 285 bottom and originally as a 399.99 upper limit that I raised to 6 just for the fairness in it. 56 grids, so much more high frequency. We're looking at just 1.89% right now. Again, a lot of this activity right here, we are pretty stagnant. So we did catch a good move up here. We just haven't caught a very big move up. Sorry, that was way forever ago. I set this bot up back here around this yellow line, I think. Seeing that the date on the calendar. So we did catch this move up, though, and that's what's kind of given our bot some profit. And then today, or no, was it Thursday? We had another little move up, which caught us a little bit more profit. My bots almost caught me on this day. My personal trading did much better on this move up because I didn't have all these in-between trades. I bought down here, and I sold up here, which is where I did really well. Where the bots went sell or buy sell 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 all the way up, and then they've been buy sell buy sell buy sell buy sell buy sell buy sell, and then they've been buy sell all the way here. So as the prices kind of pop down back into this kind of lower limit, and we're at this inflection point, the AI bot is only up just under 2%. My custom bot with smaller grids has been able to capture more and hold on to more profit, and we're just under 6%. To figure out my to capture what I have, I went from 30.1 TXC at 333 to now I have 30.59. My average is at 375 because I bought in on a slight pullback and I missed a little bit bigger pullback. I left some on the table, but we're not mad at it. Online, it doesn't show my P&L the same and as easy as it shows on the app. My market, TXC, buy sell. Currently sitting at a cumulative of negative $5, negative 5%. The total value, I don't know if you probably can't see that. Yeah, you can't see that. No way. My value is 109.37. So from $100, luckily that's very easy to calculate. I'm up 9.37% on my order. So I captured a much bigger profit gain, and that's why I'm winning. And these bots are only up 5 or 6%, so I'm slightly ahead 3 days in. Again, the bots will probably pass me if this just consolidates and kind of goes back and forth and builds that way. I feel like the bots are going to win. I need another one of these bigger moves in order for me to really capture some bigger gains. So I'm looking, and I have that $3.99 sell just because $4, as you can see on my line right here, and I'll even do a horizontal one just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. $3.99 is the target zone that I got. I know, we're almost done. And I'm looking to capture this zone here is where I want to sell. Sorry, the labs in the chart lab are being a little bit needy right now. So again, that's the zone that I'm trying to catch out. It is a little bit of a risk, I feel, because the move could be bigger. We could see a 460 move, a 422 move. 422 is an area that I've been kind of watching right around here because of all this action. The top of all these is right around the 422 area. So, selling at 4, I might lose and I might end up chasing, but just the sell order that I have right now, kind of based on these to try to capture. Again, if I'm active in the chart and I can see something coming up, I will cancel that order and look to capture that 422 zone. But this selling pressure needs to subdue, and we need to capture these bigger moves, except maintain it. So if you come into CoinMarketCap, you can see 390 is our resistance zone, which is where I want to capture 399. I might even try to capture 390 and then rebuy again at 380 before the move up. Again, I might do some charting tonight and tomorrow and kind of see how the activity is. But we are looking to try to establish a uptrend. The last, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and today is day 9 of that trend. The move over 390 is going to take some momentum, so we might be Sunday or Monday. But if we get over, this large candle down will likely be mirrored with a large candle up. So looking forward to that, and that's where my bots are probably going to pass me. I just have a feeling, but we are doing pretty well. And if the bots win, I still win, so I don't care. But I hope everybody liked this. Sorry for kind of rambling and going back to the beginning. Again, I've had quite a few DMs and questions regarding the bots and setting them up, and seeing a lot of excitement around it. It's a pretty cool tool, and I'm excited to use pionex more after this challenge. I really like the layout. There's a lot of things to like about pionex, and I will probably be focusing a lot of my trades on pionex. You'll see that in other videos as we go. I also am using Biconomy. I actually really like Biconomy. I'm probably going to do another video on Biconomy and the benefits that it offers. There are some really, really good staking and passive income type plays that you can do through Biconomy that would be beneficial for everybody to kind of learn and mess with. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment. I'm just sharing my opinion. I love to hear anybody who has another opinion, whether it's similar or different. I would love to hear your strategy or what you see in the chart, and let's see if we can see the same thing. The more eyes, the better on this project. So let's keep building wealth together, and make sure that everybody is winning. So no need for anybody to be losing. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another one.